we are back for our main topic today, which will be a lot of things Superman. Starting with the first thing we want to discuss is a full spoiler discussion of the pilot for Superman and Lois that aired on the CW. So if you have not watched the show, go watch the show now. Come back, listen to our discussion. But if you don't care about spoilers, then we're just gonna get into it after I ask my co-host. Like overall, when you watch this, like, are you into the show now? Like, because I feel like a lot of us have maybe a lot of us have CW fatigue. Bye-bye. Right? Okay. Sorry, Clay.
I have things I'd like to talk about from the show.
Okay. But overall, I feel like a lot of us have CW fatigue with a lot of these like shows, right? Like
this did not feel like a CW show.
That was exactly ever. Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say.
Yeah, the way they shot everything it does not. You have your teen sons, but other than that, every other show, even Arrow, was CW. This is the first time where it almost felt like a theatrical kind of not a theatrical movie, but the way it seems like they tried more of a theatrical feel for what the show is supposed to be, and it feels more like a family-based drama than it does a CW teenage show.
Yeah, because most CW shows would use some sort of pop culture music reference. This was all cinematic, theatrical.
Thank you.
It was all orchestral.
Oh my God.
And I would even add the way that they handled the teenagers.
Yeah.
At first, I was kind of like, oh, this is going to feel CW. And it didn't. I mean, when it came down to the moment between Jordan and I forget Lana's daughter's name.
No. Sorry.
Sarah.
Yeah. As they were talking, that felt very different than the way most CW shows handle teenagers. I was super impressed. I said in our chat, I had absolutely zero interest in this show, and Daniel kind of said you must go watch this, and I did, and I got done, and I was just blown away how good it was. Even to the fact I was about halfway through it, and my wife came home. And Jen infamously does not like Superman. She finds him boring. She never wants to watch anything with Superman in it. I got done. I was like, I think you'll like this show because it's such a different take on the character. The focus is so different. And I'll go out on a limb. Depending on how this show goes, and like Clay, I'm very nervous about the upcoming episodes because I feel like the pilot was a perfect little gem, and I feel like it could go wrong so easily.
Yeah, I hope.
But depending on how the show goes, Ho-Chin might be my favorite Superman ever.
He is pretty great. I think
he is so good.
So good. Yeah, he definitely beats out Cavill. But like, I think it's going to be hard to really. Cavill sucks compared to Ho-Chin. I'm sorry.
Picking up the thing. Bye, Kyle. I have a lot of power here today. I don't.
I thought Daniel would go into a rage. I think like Dark Phoenix eyes just.
By the end of the show, it's just gonna be me yelling at the screen by myself. You guys in the studio, trying to like in the Phantom Zone, just trying to.
Yeah. I love Ho-Chin and Superman, but I think I need to see more of the show before I put him up there with Reeves. Reeves still has that embodiment of what Superman I think is supposed to be, and so
I will say the beginning of the show gave me goosebumps.
Yes, it did. Walking into the reactor.
Yep.
Oh my God.
So the whole
is the real deal. Superman, everything he did, and the best part, cool suit.
Yep.
Thanks, my mom.
I love that. Out of 4 seasons, oh my God.
This is the complete opposite of the Superman we have seen in the films, and this is a great return to what we need.
And it's still a slightly different Superman than what we saw as him in Supergirl. I feel like. I mean,
well, that could be, but I'll say I got the same kind of chill and goosebumps watching the opening of this as I did watching the first episode of Supergirl, and it's like I needed that palate cleanser from Man of Steel. I just needed like I know I'm sorry, Daniel, but it's like I just needed. He noped out. I just needed a Superman, Superwoman kind of moment of them just being pure.
No, I agree with you.
Yeah.
And I love that costume. The costume is such a big change from what he was wearing in Supergirl. Holy.
I did not like the Supergirl costume. I
I like
with the weird epaulets. It was just
I know.
Yeah.
I like the second one more when they gave her pants. I thought that looked a lot more. I mean, not only did it look more like the Cavill suit, which I really like.
Oh.
But when she got pants, I thought that was like, okay, this makes.
Oh no! I'm sorry. No,
I was Superman's costume.
Superman costume in Supergirl.
Oh yeah.
Wait, what? They gave Superman pants?
Let me tell you the first thing I noticed, and I was like, when I realized that this show was different, I started watching it, and I watched it on the app because I forgot to DVR it. Which you can go watch this. It's free on the CW app for a while. They keep the episodes up for a few weeks.
Yeah.
I will also add they're going to re-air it, I think, tonight.
Okay.
Because I went into my Plex Live TV to start recording them.
Okay.
And I was happy to see they were going to re-air the pilot. So
yeah,
I'll double check.
The first thing I noticed was that this was shot on widescreen.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Okay. I didn't even.
And I had to go check. So like I went to the last Batwoman I had, and I was like, oh, this is like TV format. But the whole show, like it wasn't just the opening. It was the whole show was shot on widescreen. So this pilot, at least, is being treated like a film, and you could definitely feel there's a lot more money into this show than we've seen in a while, probably since the Supergirl pilot, because CBS was bankrolling that.
It also kind of gives you the question, because I mean, like we only got Jonathan born within the last year, but by the time if this is still supposed to be 2021 on the new Earth Prime, he's got 2 teenage sons that are 14. So like, how long has he been Superman? How long have they been married? Like, when did they have a kid? So this is definitely changing the timeline of his Superman being Superman in the universe.
Here's what I talked to with some. I go on Stereo, which is an app like live podcasting, and I talked with my friend Lego, and we were talking about this show because after Crisis that changed timelines a lot.
Yeah,
right?
No, exactly.
And I think after Crisis, instead of one kid, he had the twins. After the event,
not twins. They had Jonathan and then Jordan.
But also, we discussed that this show can still be in continuity, but it's just like 15 years into the future. So like we don't know where all those other people are.
I don't know because we were supposed to have a Superman and Batwoman crossover until COVID.
Well, we still can because this is just in the future.
Are we sure it's in the future?
I mean, the kids are older, so I would think.
But does that mean maybe he started earlier and they had the kids at an earlier date? Maybe
no, I don't think so. I think this is the perfect way to do it, where you can still keep Tyler Hoechlin involved in the CW crossovers, because the kids aren't around; they're babies.
I don't know.
There was a news article after the pilot aired that said that the actors stated there will be more flashbacks in the series, and so I think that, to me, that confirms what Daniel's saying, which is this takes place in the future, and we're going to get flashbacks to maybe what's happening currently.
Okay, that's where I think you're thinking too much. It's CW. I see this being the current time period.
I'm just thinking of like, how do you keep those crossovers coming without messing up the Superman story?
Well, we're not going to. They already said we're not going to have a crossover due to COVID, so we don't know what's going to happen. Like,
but in future years,
maybe.
So I think it's a good way. I mean, like Star Wars in a galaxy far, far away. This is kind of the same thing. That just 15 years into the future, we don't need to worry about it. Maybe people can pop up if they want, like Kara may be around still, or whatever. But that's not the main. Like with this, you can just isolate them and understand and easily explain why there's nobody else around, right?
Yeah.
So I like that a lot. I like the opening montage just caught you up to Superman.
Yep.
And I know you guys. I'm sure you guys saw the Easter eggs of the.
There were so many. I loved it. The Donner Mine.
Well,
Eagle and Schuster's, the doctors.
The Action Comics when he catches the green car.
Yeah.
And he's even got the old
S,
which it kind of looks like both the comic and then the animated shorts.
This is totally random. There was one question posed by a scene in it that really, for some reason, my brain just locked onto, and I thought about way too much. Is Superman in the public domain in this universe?
Oh, because of the Mortal Kombat?
Because of the Mortal Kombat game, right? I was like, well, who are they going to pay rights to? I mean, it must
Well,
be like
it's Warner. No, they don't. None of them pay anything. Warner Brothers owns that.
No. I
In
know
the show,
in our world, but in the in-universe
in the
world.
in-universe of the show.
Yeah.
I think Superman is it's public domain, and that's
Right.
because I played that game. I think it's the Mortal Kombat versus Injustice or DC versus DC.
Yeah.
Or did they just add him as a character in 11?
No,
they actually had Mortal Kombat.
Oh, it actually was okay.
The game, which is the last Mortal Kombat game I've gone all the way through.
Okay.
Which I will also have. We have to have a Mortal Kombat episode in the future.
Oh, that trailer!
I know. Quick, sorry.
Still haven't seen it.
You should. It's really good. But we'll save it for the Mortal Kombat episode.
Sorry.
And then like Josh said, in the billboard you could see called Dr. Donner, which is an Easter egg for Richard Donner, who directed the original films.
Yep.
At least the first two. Well, kind of.
But they were also called the Donner Mines, right? Did I miss that?
Oh, yeah, you're right.
Like where the party takes place.
Yep. No, I think you're right. And then we also see Carl, Siegel, and Schuster on the blackboard, which is the creators of Superman.
And who was the doctor when Clark's mom dies? Because I felt like that was somebody that was also a little Easter egg.
Oh, the actress?
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
I'm going to look it up because I swear I saw her and I'm like, that's somebody.
Well, and this is, I don't know if this is a little bit different in the story. We see that Clark, Pa Kent passed away while Clark was a teenager from a heart attack. And then at the beginning of the show, like the reason they go back to Smallville is because, Martha, why did you say that name, Martha? Passed away. And when Superman left and you hear that sonic boom of him landing in Smallville, I was on the verge of tears because I knew it was like nothing good was going to happen after that. So yeah, I don't know. I'm really liking the setup for the bringing them back to Smallville.
Yeah, the one thing I'm curious, I have questions, I have issues. I would like maybe y'all can present it so that I may like the show better. But they have established that Superman has existed, so it's neat to see people who have quick access to him. Like they can just flip a switch and there's an alert.
Literally.
But we haven't seen Jimmy Olsen, Superman's best friend. So I kind of want, because that was kind of the origin of that. So I kind of want to see.
He died when the Warlord killed him back then. Sorry,
it's not Zack Snyder's Superman and Lois.
There is one thing they changed also that I really enjoyed. They went from having the white heat vision to going back to the red heat vision.
Mm-hmm.
Like it was just, I even noticed that like if he like when he's fighting Captain Luthor and he's using the heat vision, it's like no, it's all red. Thank you God, because even in Crisis, you had Brandon Routh's heat vision being red, whereas his was still the white kind of silver one. So they even retconned that.
And
I got to say, great cape too. They used his cape really well in the show.
Really, really well, like really shiny, like bright red. How do you guys feel about General Lane knowing who Superman is?
I was just going there, and I'm actually okay with it. Him being the Commissioner Gordon for him, sort of. I'm actually okay with it.
I mean, he is very American. I think he would always reveal himself and feel like because he is an illegal alien there. And have they established that in the show?
Well, he was adopted by Americans. He's probably a citizen by now.
Hey! He wears red, white, and blue. It's cool, man. But no, I mean, I liked it because it's very clear they're setting up tension between Lois, her dad, and Superman, and the push pull of his needs, or not needs, his roles.
Yeah, you expect Superman to like lay in bed and ignore the screams and cries around the world.
Yeah, and I just want to give props to, like, again, big spoiler, but I feel like the reveal at the end of which of the two sons actually have powers was broadcast from the beginning. I mean, I think it was very hard to miss that, but they did a really savvy job of kind of going back and forth to confuse you. Like the moment when all the pipes fall onto them, and Jonathan runs to protect him, does two things that I really liked. One is, despite all the ribbing he gives his brother, that one act showed he truly, like, there is deep love there, right? Yeah. And two is when you get the actual reveal at the end where it's actually Jordan, who like spins over. It was good. It was a really good reveal, even though again from the beginning I'm like, oh, it's going to be the moody kid, right? Like it can't be the obvious kid.
So. I mean, it's good. The thing that I kind of have a problem with is to be a Superman, you got to be a super dad. It's kind of the message I'm getting, and it's really heavy-handed on Clark is just a dad trying to,
Well, but let me tell you why.
Kids.
Let me tell you why I like that. Because that is like dealing with your kids, and I don't have any kids, so I don't know. What do I know?
Really? You don't?
Go on.
Not that I know.
That you know of.
I hope we have an in-credit scene for this.
yeah, exactly.
If you're one of my lost kids, please comment down below.
And like and subscribe.
Come on, help old Pa. But I think what I really liked is that we obviously know that Superman and Lois they're good at being Superman and Lois.
Yeah,
with their jobs, balancing that stuff out, balancing being Superman. But I think teenagers, like raising kids, it's already a difficult task just without having superpowers and all the extra responsibility. And dealing with one of your kids, having mental health issues, that's not something you could just fix by being Superman.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And I like that. I like that a lot. I like the fact that they have to deal with that. Like the human part of, Superman has to deal with that. He can't just punch, those things away. And he really feels vulnerable. Like when he comes in and he sees him playing video games, like he's like, oh, it must be cool to be Superman. He's like, I don't know, I'm playing Raiden.
Yeah.
Like even his kids don't so I like that a lot. I'm glad they revealed to the kids that he is Superman, because I feel like the show there would be a lot of weird tension if they held that.
That reveal was kind of the weakest part of the show for me.
I could see that. What made it for me, what made it okay was the moment that Lois looks at her sons and says, it was weird for me too, and he did this. It's like that kind of brought it back around. But
and that's what I do like is they both support each other. So
yes.
even in this moment where it kind of helps the story go along, they're both together as parents and seem to be on the same page. And I hope they don't split them apart with this storyline.
Yeah.
No.
That's my concern is let's create the drama for the family while, Superman's trying to save the world.
So
oh, sorry, I was gonna.
No, finish the thought because I want to.
Sorry, my dogs are going crazy in the background. To Daniel's point as well, I think the thing that I really liked about the emphasis on the family is that, and the reason I thought my wife might like this show is you get to see Clark being wrong multiple times, right? And he admits it. I was wrong about not telling the kids. You were right, Lois. I was. There's a vulnerability to him as Clark that we often don't get with him as Superman, and I thought they really pulled that off well. And I got to give props. From the moment, because I haven't watched a lot of the CW stuff with them in it, so from the moment the actress playing Lois walked in, I kind of bristled. She just looks a little too, not quite the role as I imagine it. Yeah. But man, by the end of it, I was 100% sold. Like she is
so
amazing.
Good.
Yeah, she's amazing.
And that's a great segue because that's where I wanted to go next. So Lois is played by Elizabeth Tulloch, who I was not super on board with when I saw her before as Lois in the Supergirl stuff, but I was like, it's fine. It's a Supergirl show. It's not really about Lois and Clark.
And then we got Lois and Clark.
But for this one, you need they did a really good job, not only setting up how cool Lois is at just being a mom and being a reporter, they really built her up, but they've also kind of set up an enemy, a villain, an antagonist for her.
Yeah.
Right. I think Morgan Edge, he is going to be Lois's antagonist.
Yeah.
While this other, this figure is going to be Superman's problem for the season, and I'm sure they'll commingle and intertwine. But I like that the show is treating them both as equals,
Mhm.
I like that they are really partners in the show. Like they've done this for so long and they work so well. And Lois immediately when the Morgan Edge, he bought the newspaper and he fired Clark.
Yeah.
And then when they find out at the bank that Morgan Edge owns one of his companies owns the bank, and those reverse mortgages, that those are predatory loans, which also hit hard because we've been affected by stuff like that before, so we know it's real. Uh, and then seeing the state of the world in just the state of Smallville.
Well, not even that. I think when they even mention it is because, like, you always wonder, like, they're both reporters for the Daily Planet. You always see them living in like these kind of lush apartments, like they must be doing well. But then when they talk about like possibly keeping the farm, he goes, I'm been fired. We're not exactly rolling in the cash. You realize, he may be Superman, but he's not Bruce Wayne.
Right. Well, and that is kind of a plot hole. Like by the end, when they decide to keep the farm, how the hell are they paying off that the rest of that loan?
And does this
farming? He's actually gonna be a farmer. I think he's gonna have to deal with that.
Is this the death of Clark Kent? Because Clark exists to work at the newspaper and to hide his persona from everyone. If he's working at the farm with his kids, he doesn't have to be Clark.
But his kids and his wife know him as Clark.
Yeah. I mean, what does that mean? Lois is no longer Lois Kent. She's Lois L.
I'm gonna go to the Kill Bill speech. He's always Superman. Clark is the guy he pretends to be.
Okay, true, but I think there's a key moment when Lois's dad says, "You fell in love with Clark Kent. You married Superman." Right? Yeah. And so I think there's that tension where Clark is both. Yeah. Right? I agree with you. He's always Superman, and Clark Kent is really his alter ego. But if he goes back to the farm and kind of refines
who Clark Kent is.
Yeah, who Clark Kent is, but also I think more importantly who Clark Kent is as a father, then he's going to have to rebuild that identity. So
the way y'all talk is like Kal-El doesn't exist. So is Kal-El just the name he was born with and he has become Clark?
No, I think that's going to be the subplot with whoever this other alien is.
Yeah.
Yeah, because he pointedly calls him Kal-El. So...
Now, I have a question about that Captain Luthor. Is that the Luthor from the crossover that was going through all the multiverses and killing Superman in every one of them? As he finally
That's not Cryer. This is they announced he's a different Luthor from another Earth. So he's a Luthor that, if I'm not mistaken, probably got we still have multiple characters that have been trapped on Earth Prime that have been, when the multiverse got recreated.
Yeah,
we had like two different what do you call Stotts, Toy Master.
Yeah,
he'll be played by Will Parks, who is African American.
Yeah,
so we do see that. So I'm on the IMDb looking.
Yeah, I did that too.
He's just a different. But he even says you were shot to this earth like I was, but you're not the hero that you think you are.
I feel like it could be like an Alexander Luthor that's been going around the universes, which I like. I like that a lot. I like that idea that
survived the crisis.
Yeah, like he was able to survive the crisis on his own without knowing anything was going on.
So does he play Superman for maybe his world's death?
Maybe. We don't know.
Yeah. Or maybe he feels like he's got to fix something. But so just real quick.
That's who that was.
To close out on the bank stuff. I also feel like we met Lana Lang, who's now married, and she works for the bank. Now, do you guys think Lana may be an antagonist figure for Lois?
And this is where I'm kind of...
I hope not.
Yeah.
I think it's her husband.
I'm actually surprised after all that we know that. I'm sorry she doesn't know Clark is Superman. She doesn't seem to know that he's like,
Oh, yeah.
No.
I didn't get any indication that he ever told her his secret.
Huge casting disappointment for me. I really did not.
I didn't either. Yeah, she didn't feel like Lana.
Lana Lang is the girl next door. Lana Lang is Annette O'Toole in the first movie, and I believe so much Kristen Kruk in Smallville. She is not that supermodel-looking woman who is in this show, because that woman looks like a supermodel.
Emmanuel Chikri was at one point like Maxim's #1 for one of the years or something. I only seen her on Entourage.
Wait,
Entourage.
Josh, the doctor with Beverly Crusher?
Yes.
Holy shit! Okay.
I thought she looked familiar, and I was like, and I just assumed it was some sort of reference to a prior Superman thing.
Oh,
but
okay.
yeah,
That's awesome. Okay.
because it was like a blink and you miss it. Like Clark
Yeah.
runs in and she steps out of, I guess, some back room and says, "Clark, how'd you get here so fast?" And then
Yeah.
that's it. You never see her again.
Yeah, that was
And
really
then-
quick.
You know, those small town doctors are busy, Josh.
True, very
But-
true.
The reason I ask is because I feel like we all, as a character, Lana Lang's always been pretty capable.
Yeah,
And I don't think that she would just go with the flow of like whatever's happening with the bank. So I don't know. I don't know what they're trying to set up. I feel like you also wouldn't cast somebody that's. I mean, she's not like a CW type of actress, but I think she's done other things that are a little bit bigger. So maybe like you definitely cast somebody that you feel is important.
I feel like.
Go
Sorry.
ahead.
Well, I was gonna say I feel like they had to fundamentally change Lana
Yeah.
and her husband's character because of how important. And this was something else I really respected about the pilot, how very clearly the current state of Smallville is going to play a factor in this show. It is a small town dying.
Yeah.
And
America.
Yeah, exactly. And so I feel like they recognized they couldn't really keep Lana the same. You couldn't keep Lana the same character if she represents a certain type of Smallville.
Yeah.
You know, so
I just felt her husband had the wrong tone in the post-funeral scene in the house, and I thought that was just really weird to crowbar in this like uncomfortableness because I don't think anyone behaves like that at all. I mean, he was just rude and mean, and his mom had just died.
that was the worst scene, and I feel like that was the most CWE of the entire pilot. You know, it's like splash up bad guy right here on the screen.
Well, and it's confusing because he's also the fire chief, and then when we see later on, he goes into rescue. With the teenagers at the party. Whenever we first see Jordan's powers, like he's pretty sincere about like he's still the firefighter chief. Like he's gonna help people in the town. So like you can't make the guy, you can't make us want to not like the guy, but then also make him somebody that actually cares about like the job he's doing.
Yeah,
but he's also very weird in confronting them at the fire, at the bonfire, because he says, survived twice in one day, lucky. I'm like, what fire chief ever goes up to a survivor and goes, lucky, aren't you?
Yeah.
You know, I mean, that character is either just inappropriate, written wrong, or his acting wrong.
Or he knows something that we don't. You know, like
I got the impression that they and like you're saying, Kyle, maybe this will be revealed further down the road. But I got the impression that they wanted, like, I was really worried they were projecting that he was abusive.
Oh, yeah. That's a very CW storyline.
And an alcoholic, right? Because if you notice in the kitchen table scene, he's got more cans of beer there than anyone else, right? So I was worried about that. But then when you get Sarah talking about how hard the job is on him, that's when I kind of realized, oh, okay, maybe this is more like a
coping mechanism.
Yeah, exactly. So if they flesh out that character more and the actor can do it, I hate to say that, but kind of give us those nuances, then I think that might be good.
Yeah, I think the show's at its best when it's the least CW.
Yeah, I totally agree.
So I hope that they realize that and they kind of stay away from those tropes. I do want to start wrapping up because we have other stuff to talk about. So I guess there's two things I want to ask you guys. Is there any last things you want to discuss real quick on the pilot? And then also, what do you kind of expect to see from the season? Like, what are you expecting from the season? We know it's only going to be 17 episodes, which I like. I like that it's a shortened season because that means they don't have to really stretch out those storylines, which I think it's one of the downfalls of these CW shows that they're 22 to 24 episodes.
Yeah.
Why Legends is top notch. But yeah, so let's see. Is there anything else y'all want to cover on the pilot? If not, we can move on to the future.
Nah. I'm gonna let it tell its story. I'm gonna give it some time.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll definitely revisit this maybe at the mid-season or at the end to talk about the whole thing. I think this show. So the only thing I'm kind of sad about is that this show's gonna run until we won't get any new legends until this one's over, because we're not getting new legends till May.
Yeah, sure.
But I didn't really want to go into like the preview for next week. I just kind of like being surprised by what's coming. Because for this show, I only watched the pilot once. I mean, I only watched the trailer once, and I was like, okay, this looks cool. But I didn't really look into any more.
Yeah, I mean, I went into it cold. Like, yeah. I had seen that trailer, and I was like, meh. So,
okay. Well,
I would love to see Michael Rosenbaum show up.
That'd be awesome.
That'd be awesome.
That would be my one dream for this show, because I've been listening to his podcast, and I just missed the dude as Luthor.
Yeah, he was a great Luthor. He was, I think for me, he was the highlight of Smallville. So,
and I'll throw this out, and we can circle back in recommendations, because I think you guys will know more than I do. Or if not, we can do a little bit of research. Is there a storyline with Morgan Edge that you guys would recommend?
Oh,
I didn't even know that was a character.
Yeah,
yeah, I did. Because he was in the he was a slight character in the pre-crisis, became more of a character in the post-crisis, because for a small time when Superman was being taken over by the Eradicator, he left the Daily Planet and went to go work for what do you call it? His company, Galaxy Broadcast Television.
Yep, which is the company that bought the bank.
Yep.
Was it? Okay.
Yeah. Bought the bank. Yeah. So very cool. A lot of Easter eggs. I'm sure there's 10,000 YouTube videos on all the Easter eggs that we missed. But okay, great. I'm glad we talked about this, because I was really excited. We pivoted this whole show around Superman, because we got so much Superman stuff.